Everybody, Brit and Jacob, the movies is back yet again. We're going to be doing a double feature this weekend, next week, hopefully. We're going to be doing the 2 Doctor Strange movies that have come out. But first, we're going to be talking about the first Doctor Strange movie, or as I like to call it, Magic Iron Man. I'm Britton.
And I'm Jacob.
And, well, let's get into this. What do you think of this movie, Jacob, before I unload?
Meh. That's it.
That's all you got to say?
To sum it up with one word, that's it.
That's all you got to say, is meh?
In all seriousness. Overall, this is a decent movie, but it's Magic Iron Man.
Yep, pretty much. I mean, I think this movie is solid. Like, again, there's no bad MCU movie, despite what some aficionados might say. There is no bad MCU movies, but there are certainly the mediocre ones. And this is basically the best and worst parts of the MCU. Just slapped together.
Yep, it's like Age of Ultron or Black Widow. Just like the best and worst of the MCU.
Yeah. We saw the second movie. He saw it on Friday. I saw it last night. But we're going to talk about this movie first, because, you know, continuity's a thing. And again, we're kind of, I guess we're taking break from superhero movie when we feel like it. So we're talking about Doctor Strange. Yeah, this is probably the best Marvel movie that I've ever seen in my life. And that's disappointing, because I think Doctor Strange has a lot of potential to make really cool movies. And, well, like we said, it's basically you can just call this Magic Iron Man. Just, it doesn't quite have the great script that that movie does.
Not at all.
In fact, I'd say this movie is one of the MCU's most mediocre outings.
Yeah, this is the first time, like, you can tell that studios were interfering with this film, because Scott Derrickson, the director, was really excited to direct the Doctor Strange movie, and he said, like, he was disappointed with the final results.
Yeah, that's one of the things that kind of rubbed me wrong about, or at least this, the Doctor Strange movie, is that, yeah, Scott Derrickson kind of got screwed over with this movie, because apparently he really wanted to do, kind of like what we just got with Multiverse of Madness, he kind of wanted to do something like that, but, you know, you gotta do the origin story first, which, on the one hand, is fine, I guess, but, I mean, you can make really great single movies, like, say, Iron Man, or Black Panther, or Captain America the First Avenger. I could go on. Or Shang-Chi, I gotta say.
Yes.
Despite some trippy visuals, which I'll give it that, the visuals in this movie are quite good.
I would say quite good. I say they're the best.
Yeah.
The best visuals I've seen in the MCU.
It's one of the times I think Feige kind of overstepped his boundaries a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some people like to complain about Feige, but yeah, it's one of those points I think is necessary. But yeah, it's this. Now I should just point this out. This is not a bad movie. This is not the Dark World levels of bland. But again, it just feels like a It just feels like a remake of Iron Man, except with magic. I mean, there are differences, of course, but you know. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, like, this film, like, it's a decent film overall. Like, good performances, phenomenal visual effects, and, yeah, it's not a horrible movie. It's just, it's Magic Iron Man. That's all I can say.
Yeah, it's well made, and, you know, you can say that about every single MCU movie, even The Dark World, which, Jacob knows my views on that movie. But yeah, so it basically has all the issues I have with the MCU. Weak, forgettable villains, bland story, you know, all that good stuff. Especially the villain offended me. I mean, there are things I like in this movie. This isn't entirely bad. It's not a bad movie at all. It's just, again, it's just mediocre.
Yeah, as you said, it's just the most meh-est Marvel film.
Yep. Yeah, we're all, yeah, also we call it Magic Iron Man. So, there you go. It's Magic Iron Man, Jacob.
Magic Iron Man, that's a fact.
Oh, yeah, I forgot to mention the ending, which I'm sure we'll bring up later, or the ending was a bit clever, but aside from that, this is kind of a mediocrity. This is pretty much a mediocrity.
Indeed.
Man. Yeah, so there you go. It's has a lot of talent in this movie. I'll put it like that. Has a lot of talent in this, but again, it's just bland. Bland as all get out, and I don't like bland.
No, I mean, after because I saw this in theaters and I really liked it when I first watched it, but then I saw it again at home. I never felt like watching it again after that.
Yeah, I remember liking it when I saw it in theaters, but I'm like, God, this is like Iron Man. I took my mom to see this. I'm like, this is literally Iron Man, just with magic.
Yep, literally.
And it also didn't really help when it learned that Scott Derrickson didn't really care for this movie. And I feel like he kind of got the short end of the stick with this. Now, again, it's not all bad. It's just not great.
No, it definitely has its moments, which I'll get into once we dive deep into this movie. But overall, it's just mediocre at best.
Yep, pretty much. It's just... It doesn't feel like a Doctor Strange movie either. Like, I'm not the biggest fan of this character, but I will say... Like, the feel of Doctor Strange is kind of the dark, the weird, the mystical, and certainly the visuals work with the weird aspect. But I feel the recent movie that just came out was far more... It felt far more like the character than this movie did.
Indeed. When it comes to Doctor Strange's character, I'm not well versed in the source material, so I just went in completely blind. What I was going to get, and yeah, after seeing it for the first time, I did my research on Doctor Strange, and then I saw it again at home when I'd done my research, and I was like, okay, this is basically Iron Man, just not as well scripted.
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, the newest movie that just came out isn't perfect either. But I don't want to talk too much about it till next week. It'll be tempting though, because I actually like that movie. So there you go. All right. But yeah, I guess there's not really else to say. My blurb thoughts on this is just a meh film. I don't really care for this movie. It's good. It's well made. I'll put it that way. It's well made. It's a solid movie, but it's just bland and cliched, and not in the good ways.
Yeah, I mean, to anyone who really liked this movie, I know there are a few people who really love this movie. Then good for you, that's fine. But for us, we just found it very meh and just not one of the MCU's better films.
Yeah, we should know if we don't like a movie and you like these movies, we don't think you're a bad person or anything. It's just we don't like these movies. Or well, I think Doctor Strange is solid, but it's not one I feel very strongly about. It's not like the Dark World where I just don't like it, but it's like in the Ant-Man tier, you know?
Yeah, I would agree.
Maybe not even that. Iron Man 2 tier. It's an Iron Man 2 tier.
That I agree on, because I think the Ant-Man movies are like a tad bit worse than Doctor Strange, but I will agree it's like on the level of Iron Man 2, where it's just like really mediocre and just forgettable in a way.
Pretty much. Which, you know, there are things I like about Doctor Strange's character. Like, I really liked in the Avengers movies his interactions with Iron Man, because they're both very similar. And, you know, I really would have liked to see them interact more, but, you know, can't always get what you want.
Yeah, like, definitely good stuff. I mean, Benedict Cumberbatch, that's pretty much perfect casting right there.
Oh, yeah, I should say he's probably the strongest part in this movie. Aside from him and Chiwetel Sjiofor. I apologize if I butchered your name. I probably did. But he is great as Baron Mordo. I will say that. I really liked him as Baron Mordo.
Oh, yeah, he was great. Benedict Cumberbatch, once again, like, perfect casting right there. The visual effects, obviously, I think, saved this movie from being bad. And Michael Giacchino's score is really damn good.
Oh, yeah. Michael Giacchino, man. One of the best score people working today. He might be the next John Williams, if you ask me.
Oh, I couldn't agree more.
Like, his Batman score, so good.
But yeah, this film, meh.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's so mediocre. And also, the most unforgivable sin of this movie is that it wastes Mads Mikkelsen, and I really wanted him to play Doctor Doom. So yeah, thanks Feige. Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'll save my thoughts on him when we get into this, because I got a lot to say about him.
That's probably the only thing I really don't like. It's just... Like, he has a couple of good lines, but aside from that, forgettable. Just, ugh.
Would you say he's worse than Yellow Jacket?
No. Nothing is worse than Yellow Jacket. Okay, we're not going to talk about Ant-Man right now. That's for another time. And I actually like Ant-Man. I think he has more personality than this film. But, oh man, I hate Yellow Jacket. But we'll get to that at another point. You know, at least with Iron Man 2, they had fucking Sam Rockwell. He stole the show in that damn movie.
Yeah, but not Doctor Strange.
It sucks, too, because I really like Mads Mikkelsen.
Oh, yeah. Like, for me, like, he's, like, right beside Ethan Hawke when it comes to, like, most underrated actors ever. Like,
yeah,
Mads
like,
Mikkelsen
consistently...
is a phenomenal actor.
Yeah, consistently really good. Often in, like, really... Well, he was in Hannibal, which is great, by the way. Highly recommend Hannibal if you've never seen it. For anyone who's watching, anyway. But yeah, he's exactly like Ethan Hawke. Very good. Not as well-loved as I would... You know... Not as well-loved as some other actors, but he deserves more love.
Indeed. But man, he was wasted.
Yeah, I have to say, this is probably one of the weakest scripts in the MCU so far.
I would agree.
Like, it's solid, it's not terrible, but just bland. It just feels lazy.
Yeah, it's one of the very few MCU films I don't see myself watching again.
Yeah, I know. It's like, and the thing again, Scott Derrickson said he didn't really care about, you know, he really wanted to make another version of the book. He kind of wanted to make it like Multiverse of Madness. And you know what? I kind of wanted to see that. I kind of feel bad for Scott Derrickson.
# released the Derrickson cut.
Couldn't help yourself?
I couldn't help it. I'm sorry, I could not help it.
We'll make that a hashtag. Hashtag release the Derrickson cut, Kevin Feige. Also, release the right cut from Ant-Man.
Yes. Please. Please.
Anyways, so let's get into this movie. We talked around it enough.
Yeah.
So Magic Iron Man starts with, we're calling it Magic Iron Man, because again, this is not known as any other movie. It's Magic Iron Man! Anyway. So it starts in Kathmandu, which is like a really cool, it's like a temple. It's a temple. It's a big temple. Sound like Trump. Jesus Christ. It's a beautiful temple, and Mads Mikkelsen, I'm not going to try and pronounce his character's name, but Mads Mikkelsen and his purple eyes break in with a group of zealots into the secret compound of the Kamar Taj, and they just kill the librarian of that place.
Yeah.
Mads Mikkelsen and his merry band end up stealing some pages from a mystical text that belongs to the Ancient One, who is a long-lived sorcerer who has taught everyone at the Camartage, including Mads Mikkelsen. Oh yeah, the Ancient One is played by Tilda Swinton in this movie. And there's a lot of people who kind of didn't care for a white woman playing the Ancient One. But you know what? If you read the comics, let's just say the Ancient One hasn't aged as well as some might, as some would like. So I think it was a wise decision that they chose to have Tilda Swinton as the Ancient One, if you ask me.
I would agree. And she does a pretty good job.
Yeah, she's okay in this movie. She's bald. She's bald in this, which, it's Tilda Swinton, so...
Yep.
The Ancient One ends up finding out about Mads Mikkelsen and his merry band, and ends up chasing them, but Mads Mikkelsen manages to escape. So that's the beginning of the movie.
Yep, and not gonna lie, forgot about the opening.
Again, it's just like there's not really much to say about it. It's just kind of like, eh. Also, Mads Mikkelsen. Oh God, good actor. I really like Mads Mikkelsen. Everything he's been in, I've never disliked him in a movie.
Me either, but in this, he got wasted. He got fucked over.
Here I'm gonna go on a little mini rant real quick. Oh, thanks for biting me, kitty. But I'm gonna go on a mini rant. One of my issues I have with the MCU at large is that about 85% of the time, the villains are very forgettable. Which is why the ones that I do like tend to have more memorable villains, like Loki, or the Winter Soldier, or Wenwu from Shang-Chi, or Killmonger.
Don't forget Thanos.
Oh yeah, don't forget Thanos. Almost forgot Thanos, damn. How'd I forget that? The He Who Remains from Loki. Good
Michael
stuff.
Keaton as Vulture.
What?
Michael Keaton as Vulture.
Him, still underrated, by the way. The villains in Spider-Man No Way Home, even though we already kind of got a taste of them in other Spider-Man movies. But yeah, so... yeah, but yeah, one of my issues with the MCU is that, man, they really keep screwing over the villains. And it's no different here. The villain here is so forgettable. He's just evil Doctor Strange.
Yep, he's just the villain.
Yeah.
No real motivation, he's just evil.
Basically. He does kind of have a motivation, but it's never really developed. It's kind of like Batman v Superman. It's kind of like Batman v Superman, where the motivation is there, but there's no, emotional context for it.
No, the motivation is there, but,
we can't, latch on to it. It's just bland. It's like eating a fucking burnt toast. Not even burnt toast. It's like eating, a crappy toast. Crappy toast. Never thought I'd say that. It's like eating toast, no butter, no nothing. Just crunchy bread. It actually sounds pretty good.
Much.
It actually does sound pretty good. But that's beside the point. But, Lord, it just, again, especially in Ant-Man. Don't even get me started on Ant-Man.
Yeah, that's another...
But, yeah, the villains tend to be really underwhelming, and it is no different here. It's just, my God. Oh, yeah, I forgot Baron Zemo on the good villains list. Though, yeah, he's so forgettable in this, and it sucks, because I really like Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah, how are you going to waste Mads Mikkelsen like that?
Yeah, and here's the thing, I really wanted him to play Doctor Doom, because, I will give Marvel this, the casting is usually really solid. They usually are really good with casting. Really would have liked to see Mads Mikkelsen as Doctor Doom, but, well... unless they pull some trickery like they did with the lady from Luke Cage, then I don't know if that's going to happen. Also, who are you gonna get for Doctor Doom after? God, frustrates me to no end. But aside from that, yep, there we go. Now we're in the Doctor Strange land, and when we switch to New York City, we meet. Damn it, Kitty! Stop biting me. Sorry about that. My cat keeps nibbling on me. Can you stop that? Can you stop it? Thank you. Appreciate that. Anyways, so we end up meeting Doctor Strange himself. We meet Stephen Strange, who, he's basically that, like, really douchey guy you meet when, you're like, I don't know. He's like that really smart guy in college who just rubs it in your face how smart he is. That's basically Doctor Strange in, like, a second.
Yeah, just very egotistical.
Played by Benedict Cumberbatch. And I will say, I do think he's the best part of this movie.
Oh, I 100% agree. Like, other than the visuals, Benedict Cumberbatch really anchors this movie. Like, first off, Benedict Cumberbatch, perfect casting right there.
Oh, yeah,
like,
great casting.
Ripped right from the comics. Like, literally looks like Doctor Strange. Like, phenomenal casting.
Oh, yeah.
And he's really great in this film. I would say he's definitely the best part of the movie, or one of them at least.
Yeah, I think he really makes this movie, he really keeps this movie from being, not bad, but just, bad. I'll just put it that way. He keeps it from just being bad.
Indeed. He really, as I said, he really anchors his movie. He carries his movie.
Yeah, and, his American accent is really good, and, he's British, so it's like, damn, I'm kind of jealous. He's doing American better than some Americans I know.
Yeah.
But he's a neurosurgeon, and he's very good at his job. And, he's like that guy who just is really good at what he does and just rubs it in your face how good he is.
Exactly.
And it's funny, because it's like, God, I've known guys like this,
Yeah. Me too.
So, but I really like that Benedict Cumberbatch still makes him likable. I mean, yeah, he's a dick, but, he's not, like, evil. Well, at least in this reality.
Yeah.
He's a neurosurgeon, kind of good at his job. He's actually really good at his job. And he has a girlfriend, lady, called Christine Palmer, who hangs out with him, and I guess it's his moral support. I don't know.
I don't even remember.
I can't wait for Multiverse of Madness, because I can't wait to talk about Multiverse of Madness next week, because I got some opinions there, but he's a guy. He's dude. He's a neurosurgeon, so that means he uses his hands to, fix people. And he's very conceited, you could say. He's arrogant, but I like that Benedict Cumberbatch makes him likable despite all that.
Oh, yeah. He's Robert Downey Jr. in that way. Super arrogant, but just charming.
Yeah, that's where I'll favorably compare him to Iron Man. He's a jerk, but he's still very likable, He's still, he's still a good guy, even though he's, an ass.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
He gets a call one night and about some people to operate on. One guy got shot out of the sky, and who, by the way, if you paid attention, unlike me, because I'm a fucking idiot, that it has been confirmed, I think, by Kevin Feige and crew, that the guy whose legs were injured was Rhodey. Yep, fun fact.
I totally forgot about that.
And then some, other fucking guy I don't remember. I remember that scene only because of that. And, Doctor Strange takes the other guy because, I don't know, he's a dick, I guess. He feels it'll be more. It'll leave him. I guess that means he'll. I guess that means he'll get like. He does it because he wants to. He takes the other guy because he thinks he'll like make him look better. It's really weird.
Yeah.
Or something like that. So he's like, yeah, this guy's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, pretty much.
In these movies, I kind of call him Super Slytherin because you've seen the Harry Potter movies, Jacob, right?
Oh, of course.
This dude is literally a Slytherin, except he's a hero.
Exactly.
Which, people have brought that up. I'm like, dude, that's perfect. Like that's a perfect comparison. This dude is literally a Slytherin.
Literally.
Like, if Home Dog went to Hogwarts, the hat would just put him in Slytherin immediately. Because he is very Slytherin-like. He is ambitious, he's very cunning, and he will do whatever it takes to complete his goals. Even if it breaks reality in the process.
Yep.
Which is one of the things I like in this movie, is the characterization of Doctor Strange. Like, yeah, it is Magic Iron Man, and, I make fun of that a lot in this movie, but he is very Slytherin-like in the way where he will do what he thinks is right and just fuck the consequences, basically.
Indeed.
Anyways, so Doctor Strange goes driving in his pretty cool car, by the way, but then he gets crashed into, and it's like a really intense scene.
Oh, yes. It's pretty intense.
Yeah, I was like, Jesus! Also, I was kind of sad, because it was a nice car, too. I like nice-looking cars, Like Bugattis and Lamborghinis. Chevrolets. Muscle cars, stuff like that.
Even I was like, man, I don't give a shit about cars, but...
He crashes, and he, bangs his hands on his car wheel. It's just, ugh. But anyways, his hands just get fucked, basically.
Switch again for not driving the speed limit.
Oh, yeah, he wasn't even driving the speed limit. He's just like, fuck this. And he goes past the speed limit.
And looking at his phone while driving.
Oh, my lord. This dude was just asking for an accident.
Yep, he pretty much was.
I totally forgot about all that. I just remember he's driving, he's calling someone on the phone, and he crashes. I totally forgot about all that.
That's one of the very, very few things I remember about this movie.
That's funny. I'm like, Home Dog's literally asking for a crash.
He's like, I want my hands to get fucked.
But yeah, he ends up going to the hospital, and his hands are just destroyed. He is always shaking them, which is actually a really nice detail in the other movies that Benedict Cumberbatch is in as Doctor Strange. His hand still shakes, even after they're, healed, you could say.
Yes.
They never fully recovered, I guess you could say.
No. Nice attention to detail.
Yeah, when in game when he puts his finger up, you can still see it shaking.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, Steven is just devastated by this because he likes his job, and even though he could retire and just get a shitload of money, he really likes doing what he does because of I don't know. I guess it's like an ego thing.
Mm-hmm. It's definitely an ego thing.
Yeah, it's definitely an ego thing. Okay, it's not even kind of. His girlfriend, lady, Christine, she tries to help him and just be like, look, man, shit happens, and, sometimes you just gotta deal with it. And he just kind of does the whole, fuck you, bitch, I don't fucking need you, that kind of thing. They don't really say that, but that's kind of what I got out of the whole thing. I don't know about you, Jacob.
No, I would say that.
And she's like, fine, I won't help you then, bitch, and she leaves.
What did they do to me? It's like, you did this to yourself, boy.
Yeah, you weren't looking at the road, you doofus, and you went past the speed limit. Trying to die.
Your phone, arrogant bastard. So, This is all on you.
So basically, he tries fixing his hands, and it doesn't really work out, and he gets all mad, and he's all moody, and Christine's trying to help him out, and I gotta give it to her. She's a true friend in this movie.
She really is.
Also, played by Rachel McAdams of The Notebook fame. Yet again, very bland and forgettable, at least in this movie.
Yeah, Rachel McAdams, she's just pretty to look at in this movie, but that's it.
Yeah, she's like his emotional support, basically.
Yeah, but that's it. Nothing else to her character.
Yep. What are you doing, kitty? What's up, kitty? Anyway. So, he attempts to get some experimental surgeries to heal his hands, but they don't work out. Blows all of his money trying to do all that. But then he learns about this guy called Jonathan Pangborn, played by Benjamin Bratt. But what? Yeah, no, it's a weird name. Yeah, he's just a guy who he was a paraplegic, but somehow managed to start walking again. So this interests Doctor Strange, and Doctor Strange goes to Pangborn playing basketball with his home dogs, and he just is like, "Yo, bro, you should go to this place called Kamar Taj. This shit is tight." So that's what that's basically what Strange does.
Yep.
Yeah, then he ends up going to. Wait, what?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you were saying something.
No, say something on my phone, but continue.
Ugh, excuse me. Ah, damn it, floor. Fuck. Thing about my floor, my carpet got torn out because we're remodeling my house. So now I'm on a concrete floor. So that's fun.
Ouch.
So Pangborn, or Benjamin Bratt, tells him to go to Kamar Taj. And he ends up traveling over there. And he just kind of dicks around, almost gets robbed. And then he ends up getting saved by a guy called Mordo. And I didn't even realize this was Baron Mordo at first. I was like, oh, it's that guy. It's played by Chiwetel Sjiofor of 12 Years a Slave fame, which is a great movie, by the way. That was one for Black History, our Black History Month, marathon. Wish we would have covered that one, but oh well.
Yeah.
Maybe someday. We end up meeting Mordo, who's a sorcerer under the Ancient One. And he's Mordo. He's... I actually like in this movie that Mordo actually starts out as a friend. Well, not a friend. He's more of an ally. He's just kind of like, oh yeah, this fucking guy. I like how it's not just because in the comics he's just like this power-hungry warlord. Not warlord, warlock. Who wants to, take over the world. But in this movie, he's just, a guy who just ends up... He's, I think the Ancient One later says in the movie, his soul is immovable. Because he's very traditional when it comes to magic. He can't bend the rules like Doctor Strange and the Ancient One can do.
Yeah, he's just like to follow the rules.
What'd you say?
He just likes to follow the rules.
Yeah, basically. He takes him to the Ancient One, and the Ancient One is just like, yo, what up? And Doctor Strange, of course, when she tells him she has magic, he just like, what? And he kind of laughs and starts he's like, are you serious? Like, magic? Like, come on. And then she just, touches his head, and then we get just the magic stuff. To quote the great Hayden Christensen, this is where the fun begins. Had to put that one in there.
Couldn't resist, huh?
What do you think of this scene, Jacob?
This is where the film gets entertaining, I will say at least, because Benedict Cumberbatch was really holding this film down, but this is where we get to the good stuff.
Oh yeah, I love he's just flying through different universes. He has like glass. There's like a glass universe or whatever, and other dimensions. He goes through the mirror dimension. It's super trippy. I'll put it that way. So they got that aspect of Doctor Strange right. If only that.
Yeah, like it's very trippy. I'll give them that. They got the trippiness of the character of Doctor Strange, and once again, the visuals are phenomenal and some of the best I've seen in the MCU.
Oh yeah, just the fucking visuals in this are outstanding.
Yep, like other than Benedict Cumberbatch, the visuals really anchored this film from being bad.
Yeah. I will say that is one of the few memorable things about this film. It's just the visuals are just outstanding in this movie.
Absolutely.
Especially when they start like going into the dark dimension. Like, I mean, I wish we had a little bit more of that.
Me too. Give us more of that.
But oh well, can't always get what you want. Strange ends up coming back into his body, and he has that moment where he drops on his knees and he's like, "Teach me." And she's all like, "Fine," even though she doesn't really like him all that much. Her and Mordo just don't like Strange all that much in this movie. They're just like, "Oh, yeah, there he is. He's just doing his thing." Or, no, the Ancient One's worried about him, because she reminds him too much of, because he reminds her too much of Matt Mikkelson.
Yes. She's like, you remind me too much of him. I don't know if I want to teach you.
I don't know if I want to teach this dude. But okay, he seems alright. It turns out that Strange is a quick learner, and we get kind of the montage, and we see more of his Slytherin-y behavior. Where he kind of sneaks in, steals stuff, he starts using the Time Stone. It's just like, casually introducing one of the Infinity Stones in this movie. And we also meet Wong, who is a master of the mystic arts. Played by Benedict Wong.
Yeah.
I always think that's funny. Just that it's Wong, played by a guy called Benedict Wong. I don't know, I just think that's funny. I actually like Wong in this movie. He's like a good friend.
No, Wong, honestly, overall, one of my favorite characters in the MCU.
Oh yeah, he's great. I love him. He's great in Shang-Chi. He's really good in this. No Way Home, he's fun in. Also in the new Doctor Strange movie, he's really good. But yeah, really, really fun. I really like his character. He's more... He's kind of like Mordo, except he's not like a dick like Mordo is.
Yes. I love Wong. I actually love Wong in this movie. Like, other than Benedict Cumberbatch, Wong, I really like in this movie. And Benedict Wong is really damn good as the character.
Oh, yeah, he's very good. Yeah. It's funny, he used the exact same voice he used for Wong in Annihilation. I'm just like, oh lord, now he just sounds like Wong. When I saw him in Annihilation. So he starts reading ancient books, and he studies under Ancient One and Mordo. And, you get the kind of montage where he learns magic. He kind of tries to be better and whatnot, and it's really... I don't know.
Yeah.
Again, just cliched movie. I don't know. It's like, it's not bad, but it's just kind of like, yeah, we've seen this. Like, come on.
Yeah, we've seen it before. Give us something new.
Exactly.
It's just like, oh, okay then.
Strange ends up learning that Earth is protected from mystical threats from other dimensions by a shield generated from these buildings that are called sanctums. Well, you know where this is going if you're a fan of the comics. There's some that are in New York, there's some that are in London, there's some that are in Hong Kong, and they're all directly accessible from the Camartage. Now, the sorcerers are supposed to protect the sanctums, though Benjamin Bratt just wanted his legs back, so he's like, fuck that. It's like, fuck everything else. See you guys later. Thanks for helping me. So they're like, hey, Strange, you're gonna do it now. And he's like, oh, okay. Strange once again showcases his Slytherin tendencies because he ends up reading pages from the text that Mads Mikkelsen stole from, and he learns how to bend time with his famous Eye of Agamotto. Which is like a little thing. He has a time stone. He has the time stone in there. So yeah, they're just casually putting the Infinity Stones in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Mordo and Wong, he ends up, I think Wong catches him, like, doing the time stuff, time manipulation, and Wong and Mordo eventually warn him against breaking the laws of nature. And they kind of are nervous that he might turn into Mads Mikkelsen.
Yes.
Which, there you go. So, there you go.
Yeah. Once again, man.
Again, I don't really care about what's going on. Like, I mean, the characters are likable enough, but, again, I don't really give a shit about what's going on.
No, like, the actors and the performances just really, they carry the movie.
Yeah, I agree.
Bland. From just being bland. Like, if everyone was not very good in this film, this movie would just be just straight up.
Oh,
bland.
Lord, it would be a dumpster fire. Or, not maybe a dumpster fire, but it would probably be thought of as badly as Iron Man 2.
Yeah.
So, meanwhile, Mads Mikkelsen and his merry band of crew used the stolen pages to contact the Dread Dormammu of the Dark Dimension. He's basically Doctor Strange's arch nemesis, also played by Benedict Cumberbatch.
Oh, yes.
Mads Mikkelsen ends up destroying the London Sanctum to try and weaken Earth's protection before attacking the New York Sanctum. But luckily, our boy, Dr. Stephen Strange, is there. And, then he starts, like, waxing poetic about how time is the enemy of us all, which is actually the only memorable line I remember from this character.
Me too, honestly.
Ugh. Again, this movie is so bland. Ugh. It's like eating a bean of toast. It's just...
Yeah, I forgot how pretty bland this film was.
So they kill the Guardian at the New York Sanctum. But Strange shows up and manages to hold them off. And he ends up getting his cloak of levitation. Hell yeah. And I will say, he is... he manages... there is a good fight scene here. But he ends up getting wounded pretty badly. So he transports himself back to the hospital, and he gets Rachel McAdams to help him.
Just like, hey, help me out again. But this is not. This has nothing to do with my hand. This is magic related.
Oh yes, doesn't he explain? Magic to him?
Yeah, he does. Like, this is magic. What now?
She's like, what? And he's like, it's hard to explain. She's like, oh, Steven, where have you been? And he's all like, long story. Very good. So, he ends up learning somehow. I think it's Mads Mikkelsen who tells Doctor Strange that the Ancient One also takes from the Dark Dimension. She draws power from the Dark Dimension.
Yes, he does. That's another one of the very few things I remember.
Yeah, I will say one of the things I like in the movie is sort of the ideological conflict between Mordo and Strange. I actually wish that was explored more in this movie.
Yeah, because that really would have been really good, actually.
Hell, I'd even say Mordo, I think, would have been a better antagonist for this movie than fucking Mads Mikkelsen. And don't get me wrong, I love Mads Mikkelsen. Again, he should have been Doctor Doom. Kevin Feige, what were you thinking?
Hey, it could happen. I mean, they've done that with other actors. They played one character, and then they played another character in the same universe.
I suppose we'll see. But, yeah. I suppose we'll see.
Maybe.
But yes, the Sanctum. Strange ends up revealing that the Ancient One is also taking power from the Dark Dimension. It's why she's been living for so long, I guess. Excuse me. What do you think of this ideological conflict? That could have... I think that would have been more interesting... Excuse me. Than, Hell, I think that would have been more interesting than the movie we got here.
Honestly, yeah, and that's not even really interesting.
It's like, here, just have that same ideological conflict between Strange and Mordo. And you could have made that into the movie. I think that would have been way better. I think that could have been a way better movie, personally speaking.
Yes, and Mordo would have been a much more compelling antagonist than Mads Mikkelsen because of that conflict.
Yeah, I think that would have been more interesting. At least to me, it would have been. And they kind of tease that at the end of the movie that he'll be the antagonist later on, but after the recent movie, I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, like, if they would have made Mordo the antagonist in this film, I think it would have been a way better film.
I agree. Yeah, I think it would have been.
Like, it was just wasted. Like, the conflict, like, you could have taken that somewhere. It could have been something, but it was wasted.
Now, to back up, oh, sorry, Jacob, I didn't mean to interrupt. Finish what you were saying?
Oh, yeah, I'll be quick. The conflict between Strange and Mordo, like, if that was explored more and Mordo ended up being the antagonist, that would have been a way better film than what we had got, rather than Mads Mikkelsen. But continue.
Yeah, I think Mordo... I know that this movie kind of was thrown together in some ways, because I know Derrickson has said he was dissatisfied with this movie. And apparently he's a big Doctor Strange fan. He really wanted to do, he wanted to kind of what we got recently, a kind of balls-to-the-walls type of movie.
Yeah.
# release the Derrickson cut. But, sadly that didn't pan out. And we got this. And again, it's not bad. It's just, I think, it's like, again, that ideological, kind of that conflict that builds in the movie, that would have been a more interesting plot, if you ask me.
I would agree, 100%.
It's just like, I don't care about Mads Mikkelsen's character in this movie. Again, his motivation is clear, but there's no, emotional stake to it. I don't care about it.
No, he's just very bland and forgettable. He's just another elf villain from the Dark World, just very forgettable.
he's another elf villain. I like that.
Yeah, elf villain.
It's like, I don't know what else to say. Just, that would have, I'm just saying, I think Mordo as the villain would have been way better. And I know that's kind of how the comics were, but I think this version of Mordo, I think it could have been a way better movie. Because he has, a more compelling reason rather than this Ancient One doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, so I'm just gonna take over. Because, admittedly, in the comics, Baron Mordo is kind of a flat character. He just kind of wants to just, be the ruler of the world and all that good stuff. Which, I guess is fine in some senses, but I think this version has more cohesible reasons that, there's too many sorcerers running around, and that's not cool, basically. And they're violating the natural law, and I'm not going to take that, so we're just going to fucking take over everything. Again, I think that would have been a way better movie. Because Doctor Strange, the reason he succeeds at the end of the movie is that he can bend the rules in order to, get to the greater good, if you can call it that.
Exactly.
But, that's just me. Also, I like Chiwetel Sjiofor. I can't fucking pronounce your name. I'm so sorry if you ever watch this. I like him as Mordo. He seems like a well-intentioned guy, if not a little self-righteous.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential that he could have been, one of the greatest MCU villains, but...
I personally think he should have just been the villain, if you ask me. That's just all I can say at the end of the day. He should have been the villain of this movie.
Honestly, wasted potential.
I know. It's just, ugh. And, again, Scott Derrickson, I'm so sorry. I know he really wanted to make a different movie than this, but, man, just such, squandered potential right there. Though, I am curious to see what they'll do with Mordo in future movies, because I would like to see more of this Mordo and Strange clash.
Yes, and down the road, maybe make him a actual antagonist, please, because in this film, it's just wasted potential. Could have done something with it.
Yeah, exactly. Again, if it were me, he's the villain of the movie. That's it.
Yeah, Mads Mikkelson, I love Mads Mikkelson as an actor, but in this film, whatever.
I actually have an idea on how I would rewrite this movie, but I'll save that till we get to the end.
Oh boy.
But let's get back into this. So, after Strange gets helped by Palmer, he returns to the Sanctum and tells Mordo that the Ancient One's drawing power from the Dark Dimension. Which Mordo doesn't like this. And he's like, well, you told us not to do that, and you've been doing it. What is this? This is bullshit, That's his villainous turn, which is again, it's not well handled in this movie. It's interesting. It has potential, but it's just not handled very well in this movie.
No, not at all.
It's just this might be the Spider-Man 3 of the except not as extreme.
Yeah, I was about to say, Spider-Man 3 is way more controversial and extreme than Doctor Strange. But yeah, anyway.
It just feels like a setup movie. That's what this is. It's a setup movie. It's Iron Man without all the things that makes Iron Man great.
Yeah, this film is a stepping stone movie.
Yeah, and it's come on. I don't mind origin movies. Just make a good one. Can you do that? And this is solid, but I think it could have been a lot better if the writers, if Feige, if there wasn't any studio interference and they were given time to work on the script and story, I think this could have been a way better movie.
100%. I feel bad for Derrickson. Man.
Apparently he's working on the Black Phone, and, it kind of took off the sting of kind of getting fucked over with this movie, so it's bittersweet, I suppose. But it still sucks that,
Yeah.
Still kind of sucks he didn't get to make his version of the movie. Hashtag release the Derrickson cut.
Please.
Mordo doesn't like this, but anyways, he's like, okay, we'll handle this later. So they end up having another fight in the mirror dimension, and Mads Mikkelsen ends up just seriously wounding the Ancient One and ends up escaping to Hong Kong. So Strange is like, "Oh shit," and then he takes her to the hospital. And he's like, "Hey, Rachel McAdams, could you help me with this?" And she's like, "Oh my God, what is this? What have you gotten yourself into, Steven? I've been patient with you, but this is a bit much." And then, like, the spirits start attacking him. I will say, if anything else, this is a very visually imaginative film.
Oh yeah, visually very imaginative. And just very creative.
The spirits start fighting each other, and then he ends up having a talk with Spirit, Ancient One, and apparently, because she uses the dark thing, she can look into the future, which apparently you can't do. Also, I should note, the rules of magic, they are defined, but they're not very well explained. Like, they're explained, but they're not very well developed. It's just like, hey, you can't do that, and they just do it, and you're just like, again, this could have been way better. I think this could have been a way better movie. Again, I have my idea on how I could have rewritten this film and it could have been better. But again, I want to wait till we get to the end of this. So they try to save the Ancient One, but it doesn't work because I guess when you're a magical wizard person, modern medicine I guess doesn't help. So she ends up dying, but before she dies, she leaves Strange with some parting words, basically, look, if you're going to have to do what I do, if you're going to be the Sorcerer Supreme, you're going to have to bend the rules. Like, I'm sorry, there's just no other way. And she's kind of like a Slytherin-y herself.
Yeah.
Where Doctor Strange, that's kind of why I think Doctor Strange... One of the things I will say about Multiverse of Madness, real quick, I want to talk more about it next week, but one of the things I think Doctor Strange is a better Sorcerer Supreme because, like the Ancient One, he can make the hard decisions in order to, for the greater good. Not that Wong can't. I think Wong's, solid. I'm just saying Doctor Strange can make the hard choices in order to, for the greater good, if you could say.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you think about this, Jacob.
Honestly, I kind of forgot about it. Seriously, this film, it's a decent film, but it's just forgettable.
I know it is. It's kind of tough talking about it. Because, God, this film's kind of underwhelming in a lot of ways.
And I didn't rewatch it because, honestly, didn't really feel like it.
I don't blame you. Not a very...
This film's not terrible. Don't get us wrong. It's not terrible. It's just bland and forgettable.
She basically says, look, you're going to have to bend the rules if you're going to be like me. If you're going to be the Sorcerer Supreme, if you're going to do any of that. And all that good stuff. And Strange is like, fine. So... Also, you have to bend the rules in order to defeat Mads Mikkelsen. Okay, whatever. Strange and Mordo end up going to Hong Kong, and they end up finding that Wong is dead, the Sanctum's destroyed, and the Dark Dimension is just fucking everything up. And it's just... Again, imaginative fight, but again, I don't really care about what's going on here.
Me either. It's just engaging because the visuals and the action is well handled. But other than that, emotionally, not invested.
Oh yes, I also remember. Oh, you want to be immortal? Well, now you can be one. Those fucking cheesy lines like that. I hate those in these types of movies. It's just why? I hate that when it's like, oh yeah, you wanted that. Here you go. I don't like that. I don't like that. I think it's always stupid when they do that.
I agree.
I will say, the more memorable part of this movie, Strange ends up using the Eye and the Time Stone to reverse time, save Wong, and then he enters the Dark Dimension. And this is actually my favorite part of the movie, because this is actually a really clever way to end it out.
I agree.
Because Strange ends up creating a time loop around himself and Dormammu, and he says the also-famous lines, the almighty meme, Dormammu, I've come to bargain. And Dormammu's like, yo, fuck this guy, murders him, comes back, murders him, do this a couple of times, and Dormammu finally is like, fuck this, and leaves.
My favorite part of the movie, I agree, hands down. The other than the other scenes I mentioned, this is the big scene that I fully remember from this film.
Yeah, I actually like the
I've
scene.
come to bargain.
I actually like the scene. It's imaginative. It's pretty well done for the most part. I'd say it's one of the stronger third acts in a movie. Well, at least this part of it, anyway, is. And
it
like,
didn't feel repetitive. It was clever.
Yeah, super well done, I'd say. I wish there were more scenes like that in this, but I digress. So Dormammu gets sick of Doctor Strange's wacky antics and says, fine, I'll leave Earth alone. And he ends up taking Mads Mikkelsen and the Zealots with him, while Strange ends up breaking the loop. There you go.
There you go.
Anyway, so he ends up going back, and Mordo is not happy about this, and he ends up saying, fuck you guys, I'm leaving. Wong, again, who's basically Mordo, just not as self-righteous, is basically like, look, I don't like it either, but he saved all of us, believe it or not. And Mordo's like, nope, and he leaves. Or he says something a little more classy than that, and he ends up leaving.
Yeah, that's it.
And, again, potential, but it's not, it's not all there. It's not fully formed,
No, wasted.
Ugh, anyways. So, Strange, so Doctor Strange ends up returning the eye to the Kamar Taj and ends up taking up residence in New York Sanctum to continue his studies with Wong. And that's basically the end of the movie. Him and Wong are friends now.
Yep.
To the mid-credit scene, Strange decides to help out Thor, who has brought his brother Loki with him because they're searching for their father Odin in a way better movie, I should say.
100%.
And in the post-credit scene, Mordo decides to just be a dick and takes Benjamin Bratt's ability to walk. What a fuck. Yeah. Anyway, what a fucker. Anyways, he says that Earth has too many sorcerers. And once again, there's potential there, but then the movie ends. And you're just like, come on.
It's like, seriously?
But that's Doctor Strange. That's all I can say. It's a meh film. Like, ugh. Here's, now I was gonna save this to later, but I thought about it, and this is how I would rewrite the movie. If I had the chance of working at Marvel. And if I had the chance of working on this movie. And I would start out with, make Mordo the villain. You have good potential here with him being more traditional, while Strange is more willing to bend the rules. Make Mordo the villain, and give him that, and maybe keep the origin story where she trains him, she tells him all the stuff he needs to know, like don't go into the dark dimension. But then Mordo comes along and is like, well, she already does it anyway, that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. Then you have a more compelling conflict, because again, it's not just sorcerers trying to destroy the world, it's a guy who has a legitimate point. I may be just like fucking high off my mind, but I'm just saying, I think that would have been a better movie, and gradually reveal that, hey, the Ancient One is kind of a hypocrite, and Mordo kind of has a point. And give Strange the option to, if he's going to bend the rules in order to beat Mordo, or if he's going to take Mordo's side. I think that would have been a much better movie, would be much more concise, and I think it would have been way better as an intro movie. I don't know. What do you think, Jacob?
Your pitch already sounds way better than the actual film we got.
I thank you. I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you're not just saying that. You're not just saying that to make me feel better.
No, why would I do that?
I don't know. I have imposter syndrome.
No, you know how I feel about the first Doctor Strange. Very meh. I agree with you on that. So yeah, your pitch already better.
Yeah, if I ever had if I did work on this movie, I probably would have given that story. I'm like, look, make Mordo the villain. I think it would be better. I think Mordo would have gone down as one of the greatest MCU villains if they went down this route. I mean, I know hindsight's 20/20, and I'm sure Derrickson might think this. He may see this, and he might be like, hey, that actually sounded like a good idea. And hey, they might actually use this type of plot in a later Doctor Strange movie. But again, I think it would have worked better if Mordo was a villain and they would have had that ideological conflict. I think that would have been a better movie. Personally speaking.
100%.
But yeah, Doctor Strange, or Magic Iron Man as I like to call it, is a mediocre, pretty forgettable MCU movie, unfortunately. I wanted to like this better than I did, but I think if they had a better story, I think this would have been more memorable.
Indeed.
And really the performances in this movie really keep it from being just straight up Iron Man 2 tier. This is like a C movie.
Yeah, my grade, I would just say a B- because the performances they really carry the movie, and the visual effects and Giacchino's score.
Oh yeah, Giacchino's score is fantastic in this movie. I forgot to bring that up. His score is really good in this.
Absolutely. And the action is pretty well handled, but beyond that, meh.
Yep, basically this film is just... it's not bad, but it's just not that great either. Put it that way. I'll leave it there. Oh, Jesus. Anyways... Excuse me. So yeah, that was Doctor Strange. A mediocre outing from the MCU that could have been so much better if they had just tweaked some things. It's just like, get rid of Mads Mikkelson, get rid of that character altogether. Just keep it Mordo versus Strange and the Ancient One, and I think it would have been a way better movie.
100%. And once again, to anyone out there who loved this movie, good for you.
Again, I should also note that we are not saying you're stupid for liking this movie. You like whatever you like. That's fine. All I'm saying is this movie could have been way better, I think. And that always disappoints me when I see a movie like that.
Yeah. Once again, hashtag release a Derrickson cut.
And hey, maybe he'll watch this and be like, "Hey guys, we're gonna start a whole permanent campaign." No, but yeah, this movie's all right. It's okay. That's all I can say.
Yes, it's decent. It's decent overall.
Oh boy. Anyways, so that's the end of that. Jacob, if you wouldn't mind, would you want to talk about some other movies real quick before we head off this episode?
Oh, yes. I actually have a couple things I would like to talk about on
here. We did see the new Doctor Strange movie. I saw it last night, and he saw it on Friday. I won't say too much because I want to save this for the next movie, but all I'll say is Raimi's still got it, man.
Oh, yes. I mean, I have a plan for next week, since technically it's my turn to pick. We're still going to talk about it, but I have an idea.
Okay.
Next week. If you don't mind.
Oh no, I don't mind at all. I'm actually kind of curious to see what you got in mind. But what was I gonna say? I saw it, liked it a lot more than this one. That's all I'll say. And it actually feels like a Doctor Strange movie. Wow, really? It's like when you get better writing, or slightly better writing. I have issues with the pacing, but when you get better writing, you can have, a more memorable movie. I know, very mind-blowing. But, sorry.
I was gonna give this short statement because I don't want to talk about this movie yet until we get to next week.
Yeah, I know.
My thoughts on the movie, Raimi, this has Raimi written all over it. It's a really damn good movie.
Yep. Also, Elfman's score, one of the best scores of the MCU. I'm just gonna say that. I'm not just jerking him off. That man is a maestro. That's all I'll say about that.
Elfman, he has not made a bad score yet, so this film is no exception.
But, yeah. So let's talk about some other movies. What other stuff have you checked out recently, Jacob?
Okay. I actually did see a couple of movies, but also me and Carlton were talking about who, since John Watts is apparently dropped out of directing the new Fantastic Four.
I wanted to talk about this as well, but continue what you were saying.
Anyway, since, as I said, since John Watts apparently dropped out from directing the Fantastic Four movie in the MCU, because he said he wants to take a break from superhero movies after No Way Home, which understandable.
That was an epic-ass movie.
Oh, yeah. Me and Carlton were actually discussing, I actually asked him, like, which director would you like to see direct a Fantastic Four movie? And we both, he said, and I thought about this director too, because apparently he's coming back to do a Marvel movie, Edgar Wright, to direct Fantastic Four.
Yeah, I actually was talking with Carlton about it last night. We were just talking about it. I'm like, that's a really interesting choice. Not the first choice I would have had for a Fantastic Four movie, but I think he could do. It can't get any worse than Fant Four Stick. That's all I'll say about that. And if they just let Edgar Wright go off, it could be a good movie. Though I had another choice I thought would be interesting, but we already kind of got that, so I'll save that for next week. But Edgar Wright, I think, could be interesting. Not my first choice, but hey, I'm not going to discount him, because I really love his movies. So, yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah, he was the director. He wasn't my first guess, though. If it somehow does happen, I'd be very excited and curious to see how he would handle a Fantastic Four movie. Though, honestly, I can't think of a director who can handle a Fantastic Four movie. It's kind of tricky. As long as it's not Peyton Reed. God, please, no.
Yeah, no, it's... I don't know. It would probably be another Ant-Man, which wouldn't be bad, but it's like... I don't know if I want to see that.
No, because Peyton Reed, I kind of feel... It's like Carlton's relationship with James Gunn, except I don't hate Peyton Reed. I just wasn't a fan of how he handled the Ant-Man movies, and I did not want him handling a Fantastic Four movie, because it would probably just be mediocre. But anyway, yeah, he said Edgar Wright, Carlton being Carlton, he was like, me. He's like, I could direct a better movie than John Watts. Hell.
Yeah, he's telling me that. I was trying to be all like, yo, bro, I think Homecoming's still underrated, and he's all like, fuck that. And I'm like, all right. in Carlton style, he's like, I think I'm hard enough on this movie. And I'm like, all right.
Like, sheesh.
I'm like, all right.
Oh, John Watts. I mean, he made the only good one out of the trilogy, the last one, and the other two were barely okay. So yeah, I think I can make a better movie, better Fantastic Four movie than John Watts. I was like, I was good. I was like, I think he would have done a good job, but he's taking a break from superhero movies. Which, yeah, I mean, after No Way Home, like, who wouldn't want to take a break from superhero movies?
Yeah, I mean, I have a soft spot for the Fantastic Four. They were some of the first comic book characters I grew up really enjoying. Some of the first comics I read were from the original run from Stan Lee and Jack Kirby, which actually still hold up pretty well. I mean, there's some corny dialogue in there, but I think it still holds up pretty well.
Indeed.
But, I mean, the first two movies, I don't know. I'll admit the second one's really forgettable, but the first one's kind of goofy, but it has some charm, I guess you could say. Michael Chiklis, though, spot on casting. I mean, oh my lord! Like, if a guy couldn't look any more like Ben Grimm, it's him. Like, he's great casting there.
They did him dirty in those movies.
Oh my lord! And he's like a huge fan. He was like a huge fan of Fantastic Four too. So that really sucked.
Yeah.
Really, I'm curious to see if when they do the Fantastic Four movie, I am really curious to see who they would get to do the Thing, because, man, it's gonna be tough. Because Michael Chiklis was great.
100%. He was the best part of the movie, I'd say.
Oh yeah, and him and Chris Evans, to be sure.
Oh, I agree. Him and Chris Evans were really great. But the first two ones back in the day, I'm not gonna lie, they hold a soft spot in my heart because I really liked them as when I was little. But yeah, I mean, they're extremely goofy. They're mediocre. The second one in particular is forgettable.
Oh my lord, I barely remember what happened in that movie, aside from Cloud Galactus and Doom just fucking around in Antarctica. Whatever the fuck he was doing. I don't even know what he was doing. He's just chilling in Antarctica. Like,
Jesus, God. Ugh. Ugh. But anyway, yeah, the first two, not terrible movies, but not good either. And then the other one, not going to mention here. But, yeah, me and Carlton were talking about, like, who we would cast in the movie. I mean, obviously, John Krasinski is just fantastic.
Oh, my God, yes.
Invisible Woman. And he said Zac Efron as Human Torch, but yeah, I'm on board with that.
I wouldn't mind that. I've heard Dacre Montgomery of Stranger Things fame has been like a big fan cast, and I wouldn't mind seeing him as Johnny Storm. But I think Zac Efron could do a good job.
Oh, I think he could do a pretty good job as Human Torch. But yeah, we were just like, the Thing casting. We were like, we're not sure. That's a trick.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to Carlton about it. I'm like, dude, that's gonna be hard because Michael Chiklis was great. Like, yes. It's like, man.
I remember telling Carlton, it's like, just don't make him pantsless.
Yeah, he's like, yeah, I remember Carlton told me last night, he's like, yo, I don't want to see his dick. And I'm like, alright, I'm fair. That's a fair ask.
Yeah, I don't want him just, like, streaking his rock cock all over the place.
Streaking his rock cock, I like it. Oh man, you said something really funny last night. I forgot what it was though. I think it was about the movie, but whatever. Hold on. There's something. Oh no. Oh yeah, I will say, I did see the trailer for the new Avatar movie, and let me just tell you, it's such. I had such great feelings of not wanting to see it. I audibly booed. I'm not kidding. I am being dead-ass serious. You can ask my dad. He told me to quiet down. But I legit, not kidding you, booed. And I don't feel bad about it.
No, literally. When me and my friend went to see Multiverse of Madness last Friday, when the new Avatar trailer came out, literally, like, everyone was like, ooh, and there were a couple of claps, and I was just standing, I was just sitting in my chair, just, like, no reaction, just like, okay. Like, yeah, visually this film looks phenomenal like the first, but the story's just going to be as bland and unoriginal like the last one, so I'm not seeing it. Yeah,
I know, it's just, Avatar is up in, like, my top 5, up there with Sucker Punch. Is one of my least favorite films of all time. And, I'll admit, that's a hard thing. And here's the thing. Like, it's not... It's awful. I hate it so much because somehow this bland piece of crap ended up becoming one of the highest grossing films. Became the highest grossing film of all time. I think that's what pissed me off over everything else. Yeah.
Oh, that's what pisses me off the most, and especially when James Cameron decided to be fucking petty and get it back from Avengers Endgame. That's what pissed me off.
Oh my lord, that pissed me off too. I was like, okay, fuck this movie.
It's like, why are you making Avatar 2? Nobody gives a shit about Avatar anymore.
No, it's like, I don't care how great the visual effects look, and they did look great, way better than the first movie, but I'm not gonna see it, because the first movie fucking blows. Facts.
Yep. It's like eating a bland piece of toast.
A well-made, but bland piece of toast.
Yep, exactly.
Just, ugh. I hate Avatar. I hate Avatar so much. You can ask Jacob. I've ranted about it many a time.
Oh, yeah. Like, like, he hates it as much as I hate Fan Force Stick. Like, whew.
It's up there with, like, Elysium and Sucker Punch as one of my least favorite films of all time. I hate Avatar. I hate it.
And I don't blame you. I forgot what... Like, name me one thing that people remember from that film. They have sex with their hair and they're blue people. That's it.
And the effects.
I don't even remember the characters' names. Like, what was Sam Worthington's name? Something Sully. I forgot. I don't know.
You know, I honestly feel bad for. You know, I honestly feel bad for Sam Worthington because dude is just awful at picking scripts, and he can be very good. And I don't know if you play Call of Duty, Jacob, but he is great in the first 2 Black Ops games for Call of Duty. He's phenomenal in those. I love those games.
Great in those.
He's very good.
He is, but he just chooses awful scripts. Avatar or the Clash of Titans. Ugh.
Or Terminator Salvation.
I forgot about that. I don't want to remember that.
Good times, good times. Also, that time that Christian Bale just fucking flipped out on the guy for getting his eyesight. Never letting him live that one down. Still love you, Christian Bale. But besides the point. But yeah, I saw the Avatar 2 trailer, and I audibly booed. My dad had to, like, quiet down. Had to, like, quiet me down. I was like, ugh, no, boo. This movie sucks.
In my mind, I was like, James Cameron's trying to trick me into seeing this movie, but I'm not going to. Because I gotta think about the first film. Bland, unoriginal, and so trite. And the second one's just gonna be exactly the same.
Yeah, that's probably
20 more.
That's probably what pisses me off so much about this movie. It's not that it was bland. Like, if it were just a bland movie, I probably would have reacted to it like Doctor Strange. But what makes it even worse for me is that it became the highest grossing film of all time. And people just loved it for some reason. Because I guess because it looked good. I remember when it came out. I was 8 years old. This was before I was, movie brain, Brit and Jacob, what we're doing now. And I watched it again, and I regretted it, because it was awful. Dances with Smurfs.
Yeah, quoting the great Raymond Watt.
Oh my god, I hate Avatar. I hate it. I don't care how good the effects look. Awful movie, don't want to see this new one. And I don't want to see any of the other ones.
I'm not seeing it, and I'm not going to see the 50 other sequels, why?
And also what pisses me off is because James Cameron can make good movies. Terminator.
Yes.
Terminator 1 and 2. Great. Aliens. I still prefer the first one, but this is a really strong sequel. And then True Lies, I haven't actually seen that, but I've seen parts of it. I know of the movie. I've never actually sat through it, though. And Titanic, it's sappy and goofy, but it's a good movie. I enjoy it, or at least I enjoy it anyway. It's kind of a guilty pleasure of mine. I
haven't seen it yet.
You've never seen Titanic?
No, don't judge me.
Mister, I haven't seen it.
I need to see it.
It's corny, but I enjoy it. I like it. Also, Kate Winslet. She was bad as fuck, then. One of my celebrity crushes, I'll put it that way.
Yum, yum, yum.
Fucking MILF energy.
Hashtag MILF energy.
Oh yes, everyone was making fun of me the other day when the trailer of Don't Worry Darling came out. So I don't want to talk about it. I'll just put it like that. Great trailer. I kind of want to see it. Harry Styles, you bastard! I hate you.
Getting her coochie.
Florence Pugh, still fine. Ugh. Great actress, and she's fucking fine. She also has that sexy accent. Oh, but hate it. I didn't hate the trailer. It's a good trailer. I want to see the movie, but... Ugh! Oh my lord. Carlton was making fun of me relentlessly the other day, when the trailer came out. It was pretty sad.
Of course he did.
Oh, God.
But yeah, Avatar 2, not seeing that shit.
I'm not seeing Avatar either. I'm not seeing that movie. I hope Dad does not try and convince me to see it, because I am not gonna see it. Just not gonna do it.
If I do end up seeing it, that's because a friend just tricked me to see it. But other than that, I'm not seeing it.
Oh, I hate Avatar. I hate it so much. Anyways. Other things. Have you seen anything else, Jacob, aside from watching the Avatar 2 trailer?
Ugh, Jesus. But yeah. Yeah. I actually watched Spider-Man 3, the editor's cut. Which
what'd you think of that?
I will say, it is a massive improvement over the original version.
Oh, that's good, I think.
Oh yeah, I give it 4 stars on Letterboxd. It's actually really great. I mean, I will say this, as much as I love the Bully McGuire dance scene, there's none of that in there.
Oh, very good. I'm sold. I'm sold now.
And another stupid part, there's no scene where Harry's butler shows up and just tells him, oh yeah, your father died by his own hand. So,
oh, thank God.
There were very little changes, but they were big changes that really made the story a lot more compelling. I mean, it still has its flaws like an original cut. There's still the festival scene, which is your favorite scene.
Oh God, no. Ugh.
And of course, the infamous jazz scene. Jesus. Ugh. But yeah, the editor's cut, massive improvement over the original cut.
I'll have to see the editor's cut at some point.
I just found it on YouTube somewhere, apparently on YouTube. Couldn't find it like on a Blu-ray or anything like that.
Speaking of Spider-Man, it's been 20 freaking years since the first Raimi Spider-Man came out. I wrote a review about it on Letterboxd to celebrate the occasion. And, I also feel pretty old because, man, this movie is pretty old too now. I still love Spider-Man. We talked about it on the show, so I won't say too much about it. But I still think it has aged well.
Yes. 20 years of Spider-Man. I rewatched it for the 1 billionth time. It is still phenomenal.
In my opinion, I don't think we would have gotten the MCU if not for this movie. Or Spider-Man. Either that or Spider-Man 2.
I would say this movie changed the game for superhero films.
Oh, most definitely. It helped modernize them to the modern day. This was basically what Donner's Superman was in 1978.
Exactly. But 20 years, man, I feel old.
Yeah, I still like the Donner Superman movie as well. But yeah. But yeah, great movie. We talked about it already, so I won't say too much about it. But I love that movie.
Hell yeah. 20 years. Oh, man. I feel old.
I know. What else have you checked out, Jacob?
I still need to see The Northman, and I still need to see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I've been wanting to see that. I've heard it's good.
I know. And I still need to catch up on Moon Knight, but I'm kind of taking a break, especially after Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah, I've been trying to take a break from MCU. I did see Multiverse of Madness because I'm a Raimi fan, and I wanted to support him, you know? I wanted to see him make his big comeback to superhero movies. But aside from that, I've been trying to take a break from superhero movies recently. Well, until Love and Thunder comes out, which I'm still hoping to do around June area. I would like to do a Thor marathon with Tyg, because he's a big Thor fan.
Oh, yes.
I'm sure he'd be down. I've asked him about it. He's certainly down to do it, but yeah, I'd love to do that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I need your opinion on something.
Oh, what's that?
I was talking to Carlton about like who I would love to see in like in Reeves' Batman. Which villains I would love to see in Reeves' Batman universe.
Oh yes, I've been seeing people talk about it. I've been keeping silent about it because I didn't want to say anything until I was like absolutely sure. Because there's just and well also if Carlton and Jacob already know which villain I'd love to see in the Reeves verse. Scarecrow. Anyways.
Oh yes.
Anyways, what were you thinking, Jacob?
I was just having fun and just like spewing out villains who I would love to see. I also have fan casting choices. One of them is Hugo Strange, and for me, my fan casting, I would love to see Ben Kingsley take on be Hugo Strange. What do you think?
That actually could be really fun. Hopefully, he was already kind of redeemed in Shang-Chi, but that could be fun. And I really like B.D. Wong, even though I fucking hate Gotham. I think he was a good Hugo Strange. But, hey, I think Ben Kingsley could do a good job, too.
Mm-hmm. And also, I would love to see Two-Face, and my casting would be Oscar Isaac.
I heard rumors he has been in talks about that. I think he would be great as Two-Face. And Aaron Eckhart was great in The Dark Knight, but I'd love to see Two-Face get some more screen time. That would be fun.
Oh, yes. Please. And Carlton, we both agreed we love seeing Mr. Freeze, and even Reeves said he would love to do Mr. Freeze in his universe. And his casting, forgot the actor's name, who played Dexter in the Dexter series.
Oh, yes. Michael C. Hall is that guy's name.
Yes. And I was like, that's perfect.
That would be certainly interesting. I would like seeing that. I don't know what he's been doing, Michael C. Hall. Yeah, he's a great actor though.
Indeed.
I've heard Rami Malek as a good choice for Scarecrow, which maybe. There's another choice I'd have. I'd probably get Michael Pitt. I think that could be an interesting choice. Though he might be a little erratic, so I don't know how good he would be.
Carlton's choice was Nicholas Hoult.
Oh, that could be interesting. Yeah, he's not bad. He's just not in a lot of high caliber movies. He also tends to be bad at picking. He also tends to be bad at picking scripts, as I've noticed.
Yeah, I mean, other than the X-Men movies where he plays Beast, yeah, he hasn't chose any big movies other than the X-Men films, and yeah, not very good at choosing scripts.
But yeah, I'd like. Batman, I think the Batman is my favorite movie so far this year, but, could be dethroned at some point. I don't know what other movies... Well, I have to check on other movies I'd like to see. Anyways, what are some other movies what else did you pick for the Reeves verse?
Obviously the Court of Owls, but me and Carlton both agreed they should save them for, like, the last movie.
I agree. I think the Court of Owls would be great in this universe. It just seems like it would fit quite nicely.
It really would. Also, my other villain that I would like to see, what was it? Damn it. Had a brain fart there. Anarchy.
That could be interesting. Well, who would they have for that? Or who'd you guys get for that?
From the Arkham Origin games, Anarchy's a really young adult. So give someone that's someone that's like in their 20s, I guess. But, I'm picking villains that are like a lot more grounded, since Reeves' universe is a lot more grounded.
I would... here's a weird one, but one I would be curious to see. Professor Pig, who rivals the Joker, is just one of the most twisted and diabolical Batman villains.
That would be a very interesting villain.
That'd be a fucking Saw level, because he is insane.
Like, you might as well make it rated R, because
Professor
Pig is fucking twisted.
Oh, yeah, he's he's a maniac. He gives the Joker a run for his money.
Like he's like Saw level type of movie.
Yeah, he's
Just make it rated R.
It's like, yeah, I would really like to see more underused Batman villains get some time to shine. Because, I love me some Joker, and, Penguin and all that, but, some villains need some time to shine. There's some other villains that might need some good time to shine.
There's another one I would like to see, Victor Zsasz.
Ooh! Yes! And not be, like, the dude from Birds of Prey. That would be nice.
Hell no.
Maybe get NoHo Hank back. He was really good in Gotham as well, even though, again, I don't like Gotham.
Fuck Gotham.
I hate that show so much. There were good parts in it, but it sucked. It's like a 80-20 thing. Or maybe a 90-10 kind of thing. There was that 10% that was good, and the 90 was just shit.
Ugh, I hate Gotham.
I hate Gotham, too.
There's another villain. I just thought about this. Another villain I'd like to see in the Reverse that'd be way better than in Birds of Prey. Black Mask.
I would love to see Black Mask. That's another one. Probably one of Batman's darkest villains. Like, that would probably be a rated R if they really wanted to get Black Mask right. Because he is just evil. Ugh, he is nasty.
Ooh, yeah. Like, the Black Mask needs a lot more love.
Birds of Prey, they toned him down. Like, believe that. Like, he's far crazier in the comics.
Yeah, I was just about to say. In Birds of Prey, yeah, as you said, they really toned him down, and he was just wasted in that film. But anyway, yeah. If they, I would love to see Black Mask in this universe.
He is really good in Under the Red Hood, the animated Batman movie, where he's just beating up his guys. I like him in that, but aside from that, I'd love to see a good live-action interpretation of this character.
Please. He was in the Arkham games, but very underutilized. He was just there.
Oh yeah, he also was the Joker for a little bit. Turned out it was the Joker. Again.
Mm-hmm.
What are some other villains?
I think that was it. Just to randomly name some. I don't think they will, but, I would like to. Bane. But we already had Tom Hardy, who was great.
Get Dave Bautista. He already wants the role. Just get him.
Yes. Me and Carlton agree. Dave Bautista for Bane. He's got the height, he's got the build, and Dave Bautista's a really good actor, so yeah.
But yeah, sorry if you heard me yelling. I was going to the bathroom. But yeah, get Dave Bautista. He already wants to do it. Get him. He's good.
Yes. Oh, another villain. Hush.
Oh my God! Yeah, they teased him. There was a little reference to him in the Batman. I'd love to see Hush.
Me too.
And to be honest, and I know Carlton might not like this, but I actually think the original Hush comic isn't that great.
I haven't read it yet, so I can't say anything.
It definitely could have been handled better, in my opinion. But I would love to see Hush in a better version of that story.
I'm going to choose a villain that's a lot more exotic. Mad Hatter.
That could be interesting. He's good at brainwashing people, and a lot of people kind of write him off as a joke. But I think he could be good. Just have random people start committing crimes, and Batman has to figure out who's doing it. You could make that into a movie.
Mm-hmm. I would say Deadshot, but he's already in the DCU, so.
Yeah, it's actually one of the better parts of those movies.
Agreed.
Will Smith, when he isn't picking awful scripts and slapping Chris Rock on stage, not a bad actor.
Yeah, that's about it.
All right.
And of course, Scarecrow, which yes,
you got underutilized in the Nolan movies. I'd love to see Jonathan Crane just get the spotlight in at least one movie. Can you at least do that, DC? Because he's a great villain. Wait, what?
I didn't say anything.
Oh, I thought you said something. Maybe it was me echoing. No. Britain's crazy. Let's see. What are some other things? Yes, recent events have gotten me excited for a Fantastic Four movie, but we already kind of talked about that, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
I am very excited for a Fantastic Four movie. I'll just leave it at that.
I'm excited too, but I'm gonna remain cautious and realistic because I don't want to be disappointed. Please be good.
And I want to kind of keep I want to get more in depth next week, but let's see. What else have you seen recently, Jacob?
That's about it.
That's about it.
Yeah.
Some other news in the movie world. I know there's stuff that's been going on. I'm blanking at the moment. Oh yes, a new trailer for Obi-Wan Kenobi came out, and you know me, I'm a huge diehard Star Wars fan, and I've been waiting for an Ewan McGregor Obi-Wan comeback for years, so I am very excited for this movie, or not movie, this show.
I am too. Cannot wait.
I mean, I'm just looking forward to it.
Me too. Cannot wait for Obi-Wan Kenobi. Ewan McGregor, yes.
He was the best part of the prequels, if you ask me.
Oh, he is. By far, without question.
Yes, I also saw Pete's Dragon, the remake, not the original one. I saw it recently. Way better than I thought it would be. I thought it would be like a 4-star for me, but I was blown away by it. It was a really good movie.
I say it's the best Disney live-action remake.
Most definitely. Oh, yeah, most definitely.
Which is a rare thing to say.
I'll just look up movie news, see what's going on. Screen rant. That's always a good thing.
Oh, Will Smith loses another movie release. Ouch.
Was in a what?
Oh, you didn't hear me? Will Smith loses another movie release. Ouch.
Ooh, yeah, just damn, son. Oh, God.
News about Avatar 2. Who gives a shit?
Is Bruce Campbell in Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness? Yes. That's all I'll say about that. Again, I want to wait. Oh, yes, Ryan Gosling is going to be in a new action movie. He's come back out of hibernation called The Gray Man. Oh, no.
What about hibernation?
Jamie Lee Curtis started talking some smack about Doctor Strange 2. Because it came out around similar time as her own multiversal movie. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. Oh, Lord. You know, I've been actually wanting to talk about the MCU for a while. Or I've talked about it a little bit, but, I don't know. Just really talk about it. Just like, because a lot of people talk a lot of shit about the MCU movies, and I honestly don't think it's fair a lot of the time. I don't know what you think about it.
Yeah. I mean, of course, like there are a lot of big name celebrities that talk shit about the MCU. Scorsese, in particular. Yeah, I don't agree. Saying they're not movies, they are movies.
Well, yeah, I mean, they obviously are movies, but, you know,
But in the other way, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, he said they're not cinema, and I'm like, you know, they come out in the same theaters your movies come out in, so I'm gonna call it movies. Maybe it's not fucking Akira Kurosawa, but it's good. And a lot of people, I feel like no one gives the MCU enough credit. You know, a lot of people don't talk about just how well everyone played their cards with this. You know, I always compare the DCEU to this, because the DCEU is what MCU could have been if they didn't have someone like Kevin Feige who knew what the fuck he was doing. And hey, I don't agree with every single one of his decisions, but about 85% of the time he gets it right. So, I'll take those odds.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about you, but I just, you know, it's just something I've been thinking about for a long time. I've argued with folks about it. I guess I'm argumentative, I suppose.
I think we should, like, make it, like, a separate, like, little side thing, like a special thing, like...
A special episode?
Yeah, like a special episode.
Yeah, it's just, God, you know, it's something that really not worked up, but it's like, it's not something I think about. It's not something that leaves me awake at nights, but it's something that bugs me, and I would like to talk about at some point, like in